Some objects aren't just antiques. They carry whispers, curses, and shadows from another world. Tonight, we uncover the stories of artifacts that should never have been found. The Shadow Lantern in 1972. A construction worker in Prague unearthed an old brass lantern hidden beneath the foundation of a demolished townhouse. It was unusual. Its glass panes were tinted black, and strange runes were etched along the rim. Thinking it was just a valuable antique, he brought it home. That night, when he lit a candle inside, something horrifying happened. Instead of casting light, the lantern projected shadows across the walls. At first, they were simple shapes, but then they began to move on their own figures, walking, reaching, whispering. Over the weeks, his family reported being followed by these silhouettes, even outside the lantern's room. One evening, his young daughter screamed that a tall shadow had climbed onto her bed and pressed down on her chest until she couldn't breathe. The worker tried to destroy the lantern first by smashing the glass, then by throwing it into a river. Each time, it somehow returned to his doorstep the next morning, waterlogged but intact. By 1974, the man abandoned his home and disappeared. Neighbors said they sometimes saw flickering light in the windows long after the house was empty. When the building was finally demolished, the lantern was never found again. Local legend says the Shadow Lantern still exists, passed quietly between collectors, and the warning remains. If you light it, the shadows it shows aren't from this world, they're from the next. The Weeping Mask. In 1894, a theater troupe in Venice discovered a porcelain mask, stored in a trunk beneath the stage. Its surface was painted with a frozen smile, but faint streaks, like dried tears, ran down the cheeks. Actors who wore it reported feeling dizzy, as though their own emotions were being drained away. Audience members whispered that the masks didn't just smile. It seemed to mimic their faces back, crying when they cried, laughing when they laughed. After a performance where the lead actress collapsed and died mid-scene, the mask was locked away. But on stormy nights, locals say you can hear muffled sobs from the abandoned theater. The Clock of Hollow Street. In 1937, an ornate grandfather clock was removed from a burned-down boarding house in London. The fire destroyed nearly everything, but the clock stood untouched, its hands stuck at 3:15 a.m. Every owner since has claimed the same thing. No matter how carefully it's wound, it only chimes at 3:15. When it does, a faint knock echoes through the house, always from a door that isn't really there. One family reported that after the third knock, their son vanished without a trace. Police found no evidence, except that the clock's hands had shifted forward by 1 minute. The inkwell of silence during World War I. A French soldier scavenged an ornate brass inkwell from a ruined monastery. Strange inscriptions wrapped around its base. Too eroded to read. When used, the inkwell produced endless black ink, no matter how much was poured out. But anyone who wrote with it claimed their words weren't their own. Letters would form sentences describing deaths, betrayals, and secrets the writer couldn't possibly know. One officer wrote an entire page predicting his unit's ambush the next morning. Every detail came true. After that, no one dared touch it again. The inkwell vanished after the war, though. Rumors say it still surfaces among collectors of forbidden objects. These aren't just stories. They're warnings. If you ever find something like this, would you keep it or run? Subscribe for more chilling tales. If you dare.